What is up, guys? Yes, welcome to 2023. This is my first video of 2023. Shit. I hope you've all had a good start to the new year. But anyway, jury's still out on that. It's still January. But today we are here with a video, my top 5 most recommended Ernie Ball strings for you and for me. Right, so here in my hand, I have 5 packs of Ernie Ball strings, 5 slightly different gauges that I personally use for my needs, for slightly different tunings, for my comfortability, my playability, and all the good stuff. And obviously everyone's different, but this is what I recommend people give a go because I think they're awesome. So should we just get started? I think we should... And maybe some of you that don't play Ernie Ball, this could swing you to start using Ernie Ball because, you know, Ernie Ball, right? Fuck. So starting off, what should we start with? Let's start old school. For me, this is the set that started everything for me. This is where I started. This is where it began for me. This was the start of my journey. And that is the regular Slinky 10-46, the beautiful lime green packet, which we all love and know and recognize. This is like the OG, you know. 10 on the high end, 46 on the bottom end. This was the first ever, This was the first ever Ernie Ball pack of strings that I used. Not this exact one, but the same gauge. And I remember I got it with my first ever guitar. And I put them on, and obviously back then when you start out, it really means nothing, you know. You don't really know any different. It was just a pack of guitar strings. They were recommended to me by the man who started it for me, Mr. Chris Lamport. So I took his word on it because he's been playing for years. He was good. He was my mentor. So I thought, this man knows it. So we're going for it. So we put this pack of strings on my first ever guitar. And that was it. From that day, when I was about, 11 maybe, it's always been Ernie Ball. And I've always played this gauge. This has been like my default, my go-to set of strings. Now I use this for standard tuning for me. I mean, you can, drop it to half a step down if you want to loosen it up a little bit. But standard tuning, 10-46, whatever you're using for your standard tuning, whatever company you're using. If you've never tried these, which everybody's tried these. If you haven't, give them a go. 10-46, the OG regular Slinky. Now moving on to the next gauge. Now this is kind of the one that I kind of went on to as well as the regulars as my guitar journey went on. And again, I still use them to this day. That is the all-recognizable purple pack, which is the Power Slinky. Now, these are 11-48. So 11 on the high end, 48 on the bottom. A little bit more chunk from the 10-46. Not too much, just a little bit. I then started to use these for half a step down. So E-flat. And again, in E-flat, they just work. Because it's got enough tension, there's enough chunk to it to really fucking dig in. Again, this is another pack that I've used since like the beginning, and this one and the regulars have stuck with me. I'm pointing down there because I threw them down there like a dick. Feel bad now. But yeah, regular Slinkies and Power Slinkies. Again, this is another iconic one from like the beginning. Everyone knows these. The purple pack, the Power Slinkies, 11-48. Highly recommend for your E-flat, your half step down. Super awesome, super cool. And I mean, they sound good. So now we're moving on to a set that Ernie Ball bought out not too long ago. And this is kind of like a baby of those two. So the 10-46, the 11-48. Now, if you like it a little bit chunk on the bottom end, but you like it a little bit lighter on the top end, this is kind of where we're stepping into. And another set that I highly recommend. I've used them, and it works. They feel great, and that is the Ultra Slinky. If you've not heard of the Ultra Slinky, These bad boys are a 10 on the high end and a 48 on the low end. So you see what I mean? How it's kind of like a mix between the two of them. You got the 10 on the high end for a little bit of loosey-goosey, widdly-diddly, bendy stuff, but then you still got that 48 on the bottom to dig in and get that gaga. I use these as well. When I feel like delving into maybe some lead stuff, depending on whatever it is I'm playing, and I want it a little bit lighter on the high end, Ultra Slinkies, because you've got that 10 on the high end that's nice and not like a fucking electrical cable. So you can get those bends and that ease of playing, but you've still got the chunky chunk on the bottom. So highly recommend it if that's your kind of thing. Ultra Slinky 10 to 48. Boom. Absolutely awesome. Right, so number 4, this is kind of like for the heavier stuff. Again, though, as I previously mentioned, you want it low and heavy on the bottom, but you know, you need it a little bit looser up top for all your playing needs, you crazy fret wankers. And this is the skinny top, beefy bottoms. Now, I've always used the beefy Slinkies, which are 11. A11? What the fuck is A11? Which are 11 to 54. The beefy Slinkies. But then they brought out the skinny top, beefy bottom, which is a 54 on the low end, same as the beefy Slinkies, but they've put a 10, 13 and 17 on the high end, so it's a little bit looser. So you can kind of drop it down for your drop C sharp, but you're still going to have a nice light high end for your playing. Because sometimes the thicker in gauge you go, the higher strings tend to be a little thicker in gauge as well. And when it comes to solo playing, can get a little tricky and it'll just shred your fingers up. For me, it's not too much of an issue. I don't do a whole lot of solo playing. So like for me, the normal beefy Slinkies are super good. I don't mind them being chunky on the high end because I never use those last 3 strings anyway. I always use the 3 bottom strings because I'm simple and I suck. But if you are wanting to drop down to the depths of the seas and the... Sounds quite good. Drop to the depths of the sea. Or C sharp. But you still want to shred like a mofo. Skinny top, beefy bottoms. It's going to sort you out. So if you haven't tried these and that's your thing, check them out. So moving on to pack number 5. Now we're going a little bit different here. So as a lot of you know, I love playing acoustic guitar. So Ernie Ball also have a range of acoustic strings. I've had such a bad cough, so bear with me. They do a range of acoustic strings. This one that I'm going to show is the 8020 Bronze Earthwood Custom Light. These are, hear me out, 11.5 to 54, which are awesome. And half. Now, if you remember, if you're an Ernie Ball fan and you're in the family, you will know that recently, well, it's not recently, it was a while ago, Ernie Ball started bringing out half gauges, which was quite interesting. I gave them a go. I think there's some videos somewhere. And yeah, it's interesting. It kind of puts you in the middle. And sometimes that's good because you're like, this is too much. This is not enough. Boom. Ernie Ball stick it in the middle for you and sort you out. So these 11.5 to 54 Earthwood Custom Light acoustic strings for me feel and sound amazing. I've used all the Ernie Ball acoustic strings, the Paradigm ones, all of them. I'll stick them here. But I've used them all. But for me lately, the Earthwoods really just have that really kind of like natural, earthy, awesome, sparkly, beautiful, warm, cuddly tone for an acoustic guitar. So if you do play acoustic, check out the Ernie Ball acoustic range. They're all good. They all have extremely unique tones to them. Check out the Earthwoods. They will deliver amazing tone and feel, and they last a long time too, I found, which is good, which is across the board for Ernie Ball for me. They do last. They have longevity. Unless you're an absolutely sweaty bastard, then you're just going to ruin them very quickly. Earthwood Custom Lights 11.5 to 54. So let's give some honourable mentions. I mean, like I said, they've got all the half gauges, which is really cool. They even dropped down to like an 8. There's like an 8 gauge to something, which I tried. There's the zippy slinkies, which were like insane, that I did a video on. I'll link it at the end. They're like super thin. Like they're spider's webs. Like crazy. It was very, very weird for me. But if you are like a light, gentle player, you know, some of that fucking Billy Gibbons shit, the zippy slinkies are good for you. But those 5 that I've shown you are 5 that I typically use on a regular basis. There is also the 10 to 52 paradigms, which are very cool. 10 to 52 again, heavy on the bottom, light on the top. There you go. There's also a 7-string range. If you play 7-string, I've got a couple sets here, but I don't have a 7-string, so what can I do? Maybe just take 1 string off and just use it? I don't know. But those 5 that I showed you, I use them regularly for what I do on my covers, my jamming. Depending what tuning I'm in, every guitar has a different gauge on. Like my Gibson V, which is this one, has the power slinkies on. My Chug V has the skinny top, beefy bottoms. I believe my Acoustic has obviously the acoustic ones, obviously. But yeah, I use them all, and for me, they all feel great. The gauges feel good. Tone is just spot on, naturally. That's a given. Obviously, depending on the scale of your guitar as well, it kind of varies, but if you've not tried any of them, give them a go. If you don't use Ernie Ball, use Ernie Ball because they're good. I'm not paid to say that. I'm just believing the product. They're just good. I've used them my whole guitar life, and it's just always delivered. So check them out, especially those Ultra Slinkies. They're something special. I really like them. I really do enjoy them. But the skinny top, beefy bottoms as well. When I like to go low, but we got that lightness on top. So guys, we are back. It's 2023. And yeah, we're back. There we go. Hope you all had a good one. Comment below. Say hi. If you're new, subscribe. Join the Ernie Ball family. And as always, for the first time of this year, rock out. Be awesome. And I'll see you soon. See ya.